So there are a few things with our metric conversion that we need to make sure that we note. The first one is here we have this 19 decameters into meters. And one of the things that's been occurring is when we don't have a decimal place after the 9, we are forgetting where that goes. So I'm going to add that while I'm thinking about it, and I'm going to put that decimal place in here. I'm going to go through these other ones and I'm going to look. There's one here without a decimal place, so I'm going to add that. And then if you look at this one, 6,219, that decimal place would still go at the end. The comma in any number is just a placeholder. It's actually invisible. It doesn't do anything other than separate out those places for us to be able to see easily. So one thing that I would suggest is just take that right out, and that way you're not getting confused with that. Looking through the rest of them, there's only one other one that there's a decimal place for or missing from. So I'm going to add that right now. Now every one of my problems has a decimal. So now I can do my metric conversion. I'll do a couple of these just as a reminder on how to do this. The first one, it's decameters to meters. So I'm going to move that decimal place 1 to the right. So that would now be, here's the next thing that we need to have a better understanding of, how to abbreviate the labels for our metric units. Most cases, you have a root word, which is meters, and a prefix, which is these up here. In this case, we're going from deca to meter. There is no prefix, just the root, and it's just the first letter. So this one would be 190 meters. Now the next one, grams to decigrams, we're going from grams to deci over one place to the right again. In this case, the answer would be 983. One of the things that I've suggested for some of you is to actually split these from the prefix and the root, and now you can find those first two letters a lot easier. In this case, it would be DG. The only one that is different is this one, deca. In this case, we have 26 hundredths of a kilogram, and we have to change that to decagrams. So you can see here we have kilo. We're going over 1, 2 to the right again. So that would be 26 decagrams. And decagrams is abbreviated with the first letter of the prefix and the letter A. That's going to signify that it's different than decimeter, which is just the D that you saw here. So deca would be D-A, first letter of the root word, G. So there you have it. Those are some mistakes that we've been having. So we looked at what happens if we don't have a decimal place. We also looked at what happens if there's a comma. And then we also looked at how to abbreviate using those letters, the first letter of the root and or the first letter of the prefix and the root.